Flosstube. This is Nancy, Quilt and Stitcher. Today is December 6th. It's my birthday. And I am going to do a show and tell of the very few Christmas things that I have stitched. That's why I decided in 2018 I'm going to stitch a lot of Christmas stuff, because I really haven't stitched a whole lot. So first thing I want to show you is stockings that I made. We don't use these stockings anymore. I just have them put up into my chest, it's like a hope chest type thing. But I stitched these. My kids were very young. They were probably 5 and younger, I'm going to say. So I have 3 kids, so probably 5, 3, and 1 is when I stitched these. And this is back before I did initial these, but this is back before I put dates on everything I stitched. So these are out of the, I think it was the Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine, and they are the heirloom stockings. I know a lot of people has stitched these. So what I did is at that time my kids were little, and my husband he worked rotating shifts. He's my ex-husband now, but my husband at the time, he worked rotating shifts, and so there was times when he would be on swing shift, and so he would work from like 4 to midnight, and then when they changed it, it went from 6 at night till 6 in the morning. So I got a lot of stitching done when I put my kids to bed, because I put them to bed at 8 o'clock, and so I would stitch for 4 hours every single night until he got home from work. And so I was able to complete these actually fairly quick, and these are some of this was early on when I started stitching, because I had only been a stitcher for a couple of years when I started doing these. But so the first one is my daughter Megan's, and hers is a kitchen one that I stitched for her. And this is before I even knew how to do French knots, and so I don't even know that I knew what a French knot was, and this is before the internet and all that, so I couldn't look up to see how you do it. So anyway, on them, instead of doing French knots, I put beads. Everywhere there was supposed to be French knots, I put beads. So there's beads on the tree, and which, I don't know, there's some more on there. So, I don't know, I like it though. I think it adds to it. This was mine. It was a stitcher's room or a sewing room, or I'm not sure. And then this was my ex-husband's. When we got divorced, he didn't want the stocking, so I decided to take it and put it with the rest of them. Because we used these stockings up until we were divorced. So we used these, my kids were into adulthood until we stopped using these. And this is my son Cody's. And then I also have another daughter, Amber, and when she first moved out, she wanted to take her stocking with her. She has since cross-stitched her own stocking, and she just hasn't given it back to me yet, and I'm getting it back though, and I'm gonna put it with the other ones. But the reason we don't use these anymore is because my intentions was I was going to cross-stitch a stocking for each one of my grandkids as they came, and each son-in-law or daughter-in-law that came into the picture. But my kids, it seems like all my grandkids started being born at the same time. They kind of went in groups, so I would get 3 at a time or 2 at a time, and I couldn't keep up. I had started to stitch a couple of stockings for my first 2 grandkids, and then after that I just couldn't keep up. So I chose not to do that, and I did some quilted ones, which ended up being a lot easier. But anyway, the story behind this is back. I could cross stitch, but I was not a sewer. I didn't quilt. I didn't sew. I don't even know that I owned a sewing machine at the time I did these. But my sister did sew. And so I told her, not even thinking about it, I'm like, if you will sew these up for me and make these into stockings for me, I will stitch you and your family stockings. So, and it was her and her husband, and they had 3 kids. So that's what I did. Trust me, I got the raw end of the deal because it took me a lot longer to sew her stockings than it did for her to make mine into actual stockings. And then with hers, it ended up being her kids got married, so she wanted some for her kids, and then she started having grandkids, and she wanted for her grandkids. And I think I sewed 2, maybe 3 extra ones for her, and then I'm like, I can't do this anymore. At the time, at that time, I was working full time, and I didn't have time for my own stuff, and let alone trying to stitch for her. And so I actually helped her find somebody that she paid to stitch them, and then eventually my daughter, I think, did the last 2 or 3 for her. And I don't think she's going to be having more grandkids, so I think she's done with stockings. But all of hers are like these ones. And I just, yeah. Anyway, so some other things I've done. These were quite a while ago. Again, this is before I started dating my stitch pieces, but I did put my initials on them. So I do know this is prior to 2007, but I don't know what year. This did come out of a Stony Creek magazine, and I don't know the name, I don't know the year. This is stitched on 14 count white Aida, but I took, if you can see the pink and the blue on the Aida. Now, like I told you, this has been a long time ago. It's prior to 2007, because I do have something here that's dated 2007, so I know at that point I was dating my cross-stitch pieces. But this is before anything about dyeing fabric or any of that. And what I did, believe it or not, because the picture had kind of a pink and a blue on it, and on the fabric. And so what I did is I took chalk for my scrapbooking. And I don't even think I was scrapbooking at the time. I think I actually just went and bought chalk like an artist's chalk. And I just kind of put it on there. Kind of put it on there like you would blush. And it's stayed on there. I have never framed this. Any ideas to do it would be welcomed, because it would be fun to frame. I need to frame it or make it into something. Maybe a pillow. I don't know. I think if I did frame it, I'm going to have to take the buttons off, because they do have the shanks on them. Take the buttons off and just glue them on to the piece if I was to frame it. But if I made it into a pillow or whatever, I could just leave it how it is. But isn't he cute? I think he's cute. Okay, so then another piece I have, this is also pre-dating, so I didn't date this one. And I think this was out of a Leisure Arts book, chart book. I don't have the book anymore. Like I said, a couple of years ago, I kind of went through and just got rid of a lot of my stash. And now I really regret it, but oh well, what can you do? So anyway, and this is part of a chart. It says Snowmen Have Heart. And I think there was, when I stitched this, I didn't stitch the whole chart. I think there was other pieces to it, but I only wanted the mom, dad, and the baby snowman. So there's that. This is really cute too. So any ideas on what I can do with that would be more than welcome. I'm just looking at my back. My back looks pretty good. But anyway, isn't that cute? I love snowmen. Snowmen, I think, are my favorite. And I used to collect snowmen. And we were putting out all our Christmas stuff this year. And I don't have a whole lot of snowmen. But I don't have a whole lot of Christmas stuff because I've kind of downsized a lot. And so I told my husband, I said, maybe I need to get some more snowmen. So anyway, and then this next piece is a Bent Creek piece. And I think it's a snapper. Snapperland or whatever they called them, and I think it was the winter one. Not sure, because I don't have the charts anymore. But I do know it was a 4-part series. And I don't know what that is. Anyway, I do know it was a 4-part series, and it did come, you could go online and get the free border. And so this is it. This was in 2007 because I did put a date on it. Can you see it? Yeah. It says one kind word can warm 3 winter months. And it's stitched on 14 count fiddler's cloth. My white doesn't really show up on this, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so I need to frame this one too. This is one I could frame and actually put in and leave up and through January, through the winter months. And then my next one is, I think I showed these in my very first video. And they're by Sisters and Best Friends. And I just stitched these up last year. Or not last year, this year. This past summer, I believe. There's that one. And then there is that one. And there is this one. And these were all done on Ada. I think it was fiddler's cloth. And then I dyed it. I think I ice dyed these ones, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so that really is the extent of my my Christmas stitching. I'm going to pause you and I'm going to take you into my living room. I explained in one of my videos the reason I was doing the Lizzie Kate ornaments, because I was going to, the tiny tidy ones, I was going to put them in the center of wreaths. Well, I went to put my wreath up on my kitchen cabinets and the wreaths were too big, and so it didn't look right. So I have just randomly put them through my house. I did not put them on my tree, but I kind of just hung them from some garland, and I think I put a couple on in the center of a couple of wreaths on doors, and hung one from the handle of a door. So anyway, I'm going to pause it and I'm going to take you in there and I will show you that stuff. Okay, we're in my living room. This is one of the Lizzie Kates. I have it hanging on the handle of my hutch. And in my hutch I have the Hands-On Design Winter Chalk Series. And if you see that the Santa Claus there, I have had that since I was a little girl. One of my church leaders, or one of my teachers that I had in church when I was a little girl, gave that to me. She painted it and gave that to me. I think she gave to everybody in the class. And anyway, I still have mine. It's kind of chipped up a little bit and stuff, but yeah, I still have it, and it's just something I treasure from my childhood. Next thing we're going to go up to is, if you look up on I have a beam in my living room, between my living room and my kitchen, and we have hung some garland. So I have put, oh, I hope you can see this because my camera is like odd on here. Okay, so there we go. Sorry, there you go. So you can see them. And I put them just across the beam. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. But anyway, so that's where I put some of them. And then I'm going to take you to my dining room table. And there is that skirt, or the table topper I've been working on. And then here is my basket with some of the ornaments that I had worked on. That I've shown in previous videos that I made into pillows. And okay, and this is a wreath that I have on my pantry door. I'm going to, and I put the tiny tidings. I'm going to scroll back so you can see this door. Parts of it anyway. This door, hang on, I'm going to turn you so you can see the whole door. Okay, there you go. So this door came out of my grandma's house. When she passed away, they sold her property to a local church, and they wanted to tear her house down and make it into a parking lot. There was another house there too, and her neighbors, and they tore her house down too. They made it all into a parking lot. Well, the church allowed family members to go in and take whatever they wanted, and my mom took a couple of chandeliers out of her house, and my aunt had grabbed this door and took it home. And anyway, she had had it for a couple of years, and then she decided she didn't want it, so she asked if I wanted it, and I said sure. Now mind you, my grandma's been deceased since Christmas Eve of Christmas Eve of 1994. So she's been gone a long time. And my aunt called one day and says, do you want the door? And I'm like, sure. So I went in and picked it up and brought it home, and I had it for, literally, I packed it around for 15 years or more. And it just sat out in the shed when I was married, and then when I got divorced, I brought it home, brought it with me to my new house. And anyway, well, when we remodeled, I told my new husband, I'm like, this door would be perfect for our pantry door. So that's what we did. And this actually, they had to custom make the door frame and the space for it so that this door would fit in it. It's got all of the original hardware that was originally on the door. And the apron hanging off of the door was my grandma's. So anyway, that's that. All right, now we are at my Christmas tree. Okay, scan back so you can kind of see it. This is not stitching, it's quilting, but I actually made the tree skirt, or quilted it. It was a couple of panels I bought, and I hope you can see it. I can't see what I'm filming, so if it's odd, it's odd. But anyway, it was 2 panels that I bought sewed together, and then I quilted around every little detail on it. It took me forever. It's first and only time I've actually hand quilted. Okay, and the last thing I want to show you is this is an ornament. This was one of the wreaths that was originally supposed to go on the cabinet doors, and like I said, it was too big, so I just put it on the door that leads into our garage. This is, and I did the bows. I am not a bow maker. My sister is the bow maker in the family, and usually if I need a bow made, I have her make it, but she's not even in town right now, so I just wanted a bow in there, so I just did the best I could and put that bow. Anyway, so that's all I have for my show and tell video. I will be back next week for an update, and I will see everybody later. Bye.